Hey, everybody, what's going on? We're back. That's right. We are back here Wednesday night for another interview, and our dear old friend, Alison Arngrim, is here to join us. But before we talk to Alison, and she's doing amazing things I can't wait to talk to her about. But I just got to tell each and every one of you, this show and all of our shows we do is brought to you by Next Home Brandywine in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Dan Peasy and his team of professional realtors, they provide you with guidance, knowledge, and information, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Go to nexthomebrandywine.com for all details or to contact an agent. They service Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, but they do have nationwide referrals available. Be sure to ask for the NH5 listing special or just give them a call directly at 484-364-4862. That's 484-364-4862. And don't forget to mention Totally Driven Entertainment sent you. And here she is, our dear old friend, our guest, the person that made everybody probably hate her, but now she makes everybody laugh about it. The one and only Alison Arngrim. Alison, how the hell have you been?
I've been amazing. I mean, it's been so crazy with everything that's happened. And, you know, in March, I was sitting in the middle of the living room floor going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Everything I was doing. My entire job involves talking to large crowds of people. Like,
right?
Oh, that's all canceled. And it was really scary. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Well, my husband Bob said, oh, you'll think of something. And a few days later, I thought, I should reread the Little House books. I haven't read them in a while. And then I went, well, wait a minute, everybody else is home. I'll go on Facebook Live. And next thing I know, I'm sitting there in a bonnet. Wait, I have a bonnet. Hold on, bonnet. No. in one of my many different color bonnets, reading the Little House book. And I started chapter 1, book 1, page 1, Little House in the Big Woods. And I just started reading them. And I thought, well, it's been a really relaxing exercise for me. And people say, with everything that's happening, people say, I no longer have a job. I have friends who are sick. I have lost people. Everything's terrible. But I spend an hour watching Alison Arngrim sit in a bonnet and read about Little House on the Prairie. Suddenly everything's like, okay, for an hour. People find it relaxing, and then it's educational. And it's now been 6 months. I've gone through the Little House books. I'm working on Rose's books. I've read the historical books about. I just keep reading every single day. And people have gone mad for it, 50,000 views and stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah, when I got the email from Harlan about talking to you again, and then I saw the things you're up to, I got so excited because, the last 6 months where everybody's life was basically shut down, it's slowly been coming back. I just saw all the things that you were doing because, like you said, you're one of them people. Like, my job is now to go out and talk to everybody and make them laugh and do things, and. Right. Now I can't. What do I do? And the thing that made me wonder was, did you sit there like with your team or your husband or just yourself and think, all right, how can I work this now and do from home?
That's what's so crazy is everyone's like, this is genius. Who thought of this? Did you have it? Literally, I was sitting in the middle of the floor when I have nothing to do. And Bob's like, I went, well, I remember I've read Plum Creek a few times. I can't remember when I last read Long Winter. I wasn't even going to go online. I was going to reread them to see how the character of Laura developed as like just sort of a mental exercise for myself. And then I ended up going, hi, everybody, I read Little House books. And then I go, but they shared it, and it says 50,000 people. Wait, what? And I'm like, the comments are like, hi, I'm in Jakarta. I'm in Sweden. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, what Pandora's box have I opened? People are like, no, you have no idea. This is like the best thing ever. This is clearly what we all wanted. We did not know we needed amazing. Alison Arngrim in a bonnet reading Little House on the Prairie, but apparently we did. And everyone's like, you had a meeting about your demographics and you planned this. I went, no. I was sitting there going, oh, I guess I could read a book. And I had the bonnet. I was scheduled to do RuPaul's Drag Con and the Missouri Cherry Blossom Festival, and so I had all my merch, my books, and my bonnets.
Right.
I went, what am I going to do with all these bonnets? Oh, I'll wear a different one every day. Well, I had an online store, and I occasionally sold a photo or a thing. I had, you get that thing square, so you can put it on your phone. And
Mm-hmm.
So I had. And so people say, I want a bonnet. People start writing, I want a bonnet. I go, well, I got that. You can buy them on the store. I'm calling Walnut Grove 3 days later going, I'm out of bonnets. Can you send me another 50 bonnets? And then I got Missouri bonnets. I got candles. I got tin cups. Now they all want tin cups. So I have tin cups for sale. And now I have the CDs of my audiobook. But so I got to start. Then I go on Cameo. You know, the celebrities go, hi, happy birthday, Grandma. Suddenly, apparently, everybody's mom needed a happy birthday from Nellie Oleson for some reason. Mother's Day was out of control. So I'm like, this is crazy. Then there's a thing called Coach the World, where you get like a Zoom call with a celebrity or some or a coach. And, it's marvelous. Coach the World.
I never heard that one yet.
It's a new one, and you can either get a celebrity to meet and greet, or they have coaches. They have people who teach things, acting, business skills. When you say, I need a half an hour with this expert, and there you go. So next thing I know, I'm talking to a girl in Tokyo, and she took the phone outside. I got a walking tour of Tokyo. I was like, this is great. So I'm talking to a video, and then I'm doing that. And then the guys because I was booked at the Laurie Beachman Theater every Mother's Day weekend. I do the Laurie Beachman Theater in New York, my stand-up show.
Right.
Felt so bad about that. I had fans who come every year who said, you have no idea. They said it was bad enough we saw Broadway close, but then when we got the email that, and Alison's not doing her show either, they said that was sort of like the last straw. And then they got an email saying, show's back, it's online. And they said, you have no idea how happy this made us. So they called me and said, crazy idea, since we book that's all they do, Spin Cycle. We book cabaret people and drag queens. We're dead the water here unless we think of something. How do you feel about doing it online? Like live stream pay-per-view? And I'm like, we can do that. And there's many platforms, but we use stageit.com. Mm-hmm. And you go to Stage It, and you tick, 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 tick. You set up the thing. People buy a ticket for $10, and boom, I'm in their living room live. And I have a thing set up over here in the other part of the living room with a fake brick wall. And we set up the thing in the laptop, the lights, and you go. And I do my show, and everyone sits at home with their popcorn and goes, oh, look, there she is. And it's insane. And we have prizes, and we do Q&A. I usually have Q&A in my show. I say, well, put your questions on Facebook, and we'll write them down on the cards. And then when I'm on the thing, I can go, hi, I have a question from Susie here. And we do the Q&A.
This is amazing. I love to hear this because, you know, a lot of the musical artists have been doing something similar like this. And, you know, I saw you when you came to Philly a few years ago with the show.
Yes.
And I was blown away. It was such a good time. And this is such a great thing for you to now hit all these other markets that you would probably never get to show this show off. And now people all around the world can watch it all at the same time.
Crazy.
I think this is going to blow this show up. I honestly do.
I'm doing one tomorrow. I've done like 5. I'm doing one tomorrow. It's 5:00 LA time, so it's 8:00 New York time, and it's Confessions of a Prairie Terror. Stageit.com. And so this whole thing's now I basically have a full-time job. I'm like talking to my phone like this all day. I have a full-time job, and I have the interviews, and I'm like, wait, I have work. And Bob's laughing. He's going, I told you you'd think of something. And I'm like, I had no idea. I read Little House books in a bonnet, and it would turn into a whole career. So sort of my life got moved. Oh, marvelous thing, the Women's Inspire Network Conference, big women's business conference in Ireland, in Dublin. And I was supposed to be in France again. Right now, I'm supposed to be in France now. I had a book September, October, because I just done January and February, I had a tour. And then what I was going to do was go over to Ireland for like 3 days and do this conference and be their keynote speaker. Well, we can't do that. Well, she calls me back. Whole thing's online. You still doing it? So I don't know. I'll rent a podium and set that up in my living room and go, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm doing that. And then I get a call. Harlan, our marvelous publicist, says, Rich Little needs to talk to you. The Rich Little, yes.
Yeah, I was wondering about this whole thing.
And I'm like, the Rich Little, yes. And, you know, Rich Little's not retired. Rich Little is obviously not young, but he is not retired. He lives in Vegas, and he has been doing 4 nights a week at the Tropicana. Not only has he been doing 4 nights a week at Tropicana, he like set some record for like longest gig, like longest, you know, internship thing at the
really?
He's there. He's been like living at the Tropicana. So he's been working, and he's got like 2 books, and he draws and sketches. He's an artist. He's one of those people. He can write, perform, do impressions, tell stories, and he's also a graphic artist, can also draw. Like,
wow.
He's one of those people. So we thought, of course, he's a genius. Makes sense. So very nice man. Well, he can't go to the Tropicana. Tropicana is closed, and obviously Rich Little is older, so he just be like, yeah, and you're not going anywhere, dear, because he's like, oh, right, and for his health, he's obviously doesn't want to be exposed. So
Sure.
what do I do? What do I do? And they said, well, we heard Alison Arngrim did an online live show. Let's call her. Next thing I know, I'm talking to Rich Little, being like, well, they went, we're doing it. So Rich Little is now leaping into the 21st century, and on October 15th, I'm helping him with this. He has a marvelous tech team, fabulous people, but as a performer, it's really weird to do it in your living room and no audience. And I said, yeah, it's like those old gigs. We do like those TV shows where they had no audience and they put the track in later. It's a lot like that. So I said, you can do it. So on October 15th, Rich Little, I love the title, Virtually Speaking. And he's written a whole new show. He's got, the impressions and the jokes, stories about the people he's met, and he's incorporated the artwork, the drawings, because he's done drawings of the famous people. So He's got a whole high-tech thing with a backdrop and a thing, and he's going to work the sketches into the show. It's like multimedia extravaganza.
So when Rich Little calls you, does he call you in his voice, or is he calling you as Michael Landon or somebody like that?
He's notorious for leaving messages for people, like, hi, this is John Wayne. Hi, this is Ronald Wayne. He'll leave messages for you to freak you out. I actually got to talk to Rich Little, which was almost weirder than talking to one of the other voices.
Yeah, right.
So it was very crazy, but he totally got it, because I was like, well, normally you're doing a one-man show, like when I do a one-woman show, and you're shooting for like an hour and a half. Maybe they want 75 minutes. I said, this, you got to have like a tight 30, like the old days. You got a tight 30 club, and you get a little leeway. It cuts you off after 40 or something. I said, so you got to have a tight set, which he likes. He likes to be well-rehearsed and do a tight set. And I said, and then it's like, when I used to do Don Kirshner's rock concert in the 70s, and there's like no audience, and they just put all in your talking to nothing. And he's like, I remember those gigs. And I'm like, yeah, it's that gig again. And then, but they're laughing at home. Now, when I do it, my husband Bob's there, and he's at the laptop. So Bob is great. If, I would have to be married to him, if for nothing else, the fact that he laughs in all the right places every single time when he knows where all the light, he always laughs exactly. So he can be counted on to laugh at the jokes, but he's seeing the comments. So if I tell a story, and in the comments are going, oh my God, that is hilarious, I love that, he's going, and so that's like, laugh, you have a laugh, and I'm going, oh, hold for laugh, like while they're typing. It's like, so so I'm going to be helping out in Vegas with Rich Little's Virtually Speaking on October 15th. It's fantastic, and it's, again, you just go to stageit.com, and there's Rich Little, and you click, buy a ticket. And it's amazing, because it's just, he's done only like a little bit of stuff on Facebook, and now he's going to be doing tons of stuff on the internet. But it was the same thing for me. I mean, I had done 1 or 2 Facebook Lives ever. Okay. I didn't know what a Zoom call was in March. I'd never heard of a Zoom call. I certainly hadn't heard of StreamYard or StageIt or any of the other 8 million platforms we're now on every day. And I'd done like Facebook Live like once, so I knew which way. You know who showed me how to do Facebook Live?
Who?
Baby Grace from Little House on the Prairie. Wendy Lully, who is the twins, Baby Grace. They've grown up to gorgeous, gorgeous, lovely women. Wendy, and she's got a book out. She has the Little House Devotionals, marvelous, full spiritual, lovely, uplifting thing. And she is queen of the internet. She's like, bip, 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 bip. She does all these little lives. And she was showing me how to do things on my Instagram, and she showed me how to do Facebook Live. So I did like my first Facebook Live was because Baby Grace showed me how to.
That's funny. So that is funny.
I didn't know, but when everything hit the fan, I went, I can't just sit here. And my husband said, hey, I'm still working. We're not going to be out in the street, And I said, yeah, but I've kind of been employed since I was 12. I don't really know if to do or not. So I we do auditions online, I guess. And now it's crazy. Now I'm like, oh yes, all the different platforms and all. I got to look at the lighting. I love the nice.
I know you got great lighting going on.
It's like $49.99 on Amazon. I have different lighting for the stage show, but I have this lighting. It's so good. My agent called me and said, what are you using for lighting? Because I have a lot of Zoom calls and I'd like to look good. I want your lighting. So yeah, I actually bought one for a friend. She's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, I'll buy you the lighting. She's like, great. She's now doing a concert series online. Yeah,
See?
it's like
See?
people are being so creative. It's such in the midst of all this tragedy and terrible things. Sometimes this is what happens: is people have to create. They have to reach out to other human beings for contact and support each other. And so sometimes in the middle, crazy, creative, insane things get invented. And here we all are. And I have friends now who are singing, who are doing theater. What you got? Patrick Stewart does a sonnet a day. All kinds of people are famous and not famous are doing really clever things now using the technology.
Do you think, whenever things go back to normal, will you continue doing this stuff, or do you think people in the entertainment industry are going to continue doing this, or do you think it's going to just get pushed to the wayside?
I think we're going to have a blend because, first of all, I think it's going to be a really long time before we really go back to normal because, as I remind people, by golly, they are going great guns. Everything we learned fighting AIDS is now being used to fight COVID. Many of the people, the scientists and doctors who worked in AIDS are working on the COVID problem. I had Dr. Otto Yang on my little interview show, and he's down at UCLA, and he's involved like 20 different drug trials, and he used to work in AIDS, and he's like, well, signed up for this one. So it's very clever, the stuff they're doing. There are a bunch of vaccine trials. I even have a friend who's in a vaccine trial. They're getting to like level 3, level 4. But,
wow,
it's a coronavirus. We don't have a cure or vaccine for the common cold.
Right.
We don't have a cure or vaccine for AIDS. Mm-hmm. And working as I did volunteering in AIDS, I heard for years, we'll have a vaccine in 5 years. We'll have a vaccine tomorrow. We'll have a vaccine in 10 years. We still don't have a vaccine for AIDS. So these new diseases, it's very difficult. We have a new disease, and COVID is weird. It attacks the immune system. So it's very hard. We may get a vaccine, but it is not going to be easy. It will not be easy. So we got a little while before we go. But I just did a movie because we said, okay, we can fly you out. There's nobody next to you in the plane. And then when we test you before you come, and then we test you when you arrive, and we take everybody's temperature on the set, and everyone wears a mask, and the makeup and hair people are like at the dentist's office are completely all tricked out in gloves, and we do the makeup outside, and then we shoot the scenes, and people stand over there. And like when they had extras, a tiny, tiny group of extras, they all came in masks. They went, okay, masks off, action. And then, okay, everybody put your masks back on. And it was like making a movie underwater. Because we had things on our faces. It's like, go over there. We have to go. No, you stand there. But we did it. And I shot like 4 or 5 days on this thing. And it's fantastic. It's they may be changing the title. It's either Twice Upon a Song or Even in Dreams. One or the other. But it's adorable. It's a lovely, wholesome film about this young girl making it in the music industry and hanging on to her values. Of course, it's hard to do because I play the evil manager who totally tries to get to destroy and compromise her values, and I'm awful. I'm a horrible, horrible person. It was a lot of fun. But yes, I was tested like 3 times. I can't count how many times I took my temperature. I love it. I have a beautiful collection of masks because I bought my fans make them for me. They're Prairie people. They all sew. So they're all sending me all these gorgeous things. I got one that's got like lace on it, like a whole Nellie Oleson.
Oh, that's funny.
So I have the masks. I was always all about washing the hands. I've been telling people to wash their hands for years. Now it's like, hello, yeah, okay, wash your hands. So everything was super duper sanitized and caution, and by golly, we got through it and got a film made. So they're going back into production. There's the Safe Way Forward. There's a whole document the Screen Actors Guild put together, working with the other unions and the Directors Guild. And so there are movies and TV shows are in production now. They're starting to go into production. And they're having to navigate, and that's why they've written this huge document, and there's lots of online. I went to the online seminar for the TV Academy and the online seminar for SAG, where they had producers saying, well, here's how I shot my show, and explained what they were doing with separating and distancing and masks, how they were getting through shoot without killing anybody, basically.
Sure. What was it? Was it like more time consuming this way, or no difference?
I was surprised how little it was, because I thought, well, there's going to be a thing. But they had it down, because that was the thing Savannah Osler, this woman is doing in her team, they like to work really fast. We were shooting at like Michael Landon pace, 12, 14 pages a day, as I call it, because Michael was like, come on, next setup, let's go. So we were cranking it out, and we were getting stuff done. They were like, okay, you're done. I'm going, what? I'm done already? Yeah. And so they were doing things, getting an enormous amount of footage done each day. They were very organized. But like the first day I arrived, they said, okay, we're having a safety meeting. Very sure that everyone just stand here in the parking lot. Okay, here's what's going on. Here's what you do. Here's what you don't do. And here's your sanitizer. And you got your mask. Okay. And here's where you go. And lunch will be in nice little boxes. And we have a picnic on the lawn, which was lovely because it's Utah. There was mountains and trees. So we made it work. But they were able to do it. I mean, that's the thing is you have to have a coordinator. You have to have someone who is designated, and they deal with the testing and the temperatures and whatnot. That person is running around with the thermometer. But it can be done. And by golly, they did it. And they were making that thing at record speed. So it can be done.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I hope, it seems like that's going to be the new norm for a while, at least. Hopefully a lot more things can get back into production. People can get back to work.
And that's the thing is this may take a while, like I said, and it's worldwide. They're almost up to, we talked about how we were at 200,000 dead in the U.S. We're almost up to 1 million people who have died worldwide.
I know.
Now, remember when AIDS happened? I remember when I saw the stats in 1986 when AIDS hit, and I saw like 20,000. I went, oh, this is going to go way big. They said, do you think it'll go to 40? I was like, it's going to go to, I knew it was bad. I was like, okay, do the math, and then it multiplies by, Well, it's only been, 6 months in this country?
Right.
I mean, it started in November, December in China. It was in Europe, certainly by January, February, and it was here February, March-ish. It's only September.
Yeah.
And the AIDS didn't kill this many people in 6 months. So no, this is not, it's going to be bad. But and I have so many friends who are severely medically fragile. They can't go out of the house. They catch this. Yeah, it's really, and there's young people who've gotten very ill. Young people have died. Right. It's pretty severe, and we're catching on. We're learning new things about it every single day. It's like when AIDS first happened. They were like, it does this. No, wait, it does this. So I feel like I'm having deja vu. I feel like it's the 80s all over again. I remember. Yeah. I remember when we. Are we getting it off the doorknob? Oh, we're not getting it off the doorknob. Good. Okay. Right. So it's a replay, but we will eventually get a handle. But obviously, in order to go, make the world turn, some people are going to have to be at their jobs. My husband's at work. He goes to work every day, and no general public comes into the office. They are wearing masks. They have sanitizer. So they're like locked down, but they go in and they do the work.
Right.
So it's possible. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting and sad at the same time, along the way, losing so many people.
It's terrible, and I am waiting for, Savannah, the woman who made the film, and we're both Disney freaks. We actually sat there during a free moment and went, okay, if you were gonna open Disneyland, let's see. Okay, no, you could, that shortcut from Fantasyland was much too narrow. Close that down. That's closed. Can't go through that. Okay, but then if you open this up, now how many people could you put in the boat on It's a Small World? Because you couldn't put all of them in the boat. What if we did, and we were like sitting there trying to figure out how to reopen Disneyland.
They might be calling you next.
They could get, I'll come right over. I'll help. Really, we can do it by Zoom. We'll make it happen.
Now, how about you already mentioned too your radio show? So your radio show you do once a week?
Yes, it's every Tuesday. I've had a couple of reruns. That was another thing. I was going to a lovely studio over in Toluca Lake to do it, and I remember like towards the end we did one where it was getting it close, and I said, "Can we do this in the studio? It's kind of small ventilation." They go, "Well, we've sanitized, we cleaned the microphones and sprayed everything down." And I thought, "Okay, and it's me, the guest, and you, and you're sitting over there." And then it was like, "Yeah, nobody's going anywhere. Not going to the studio." And I initially called a couple guests and said, "We can do it by Zoom. Are you coming on?" And I actually had people call back and go, I'm sorry, I'm canceling. I can't even think about anything right now. I know it's Zoom. Yeah. Just call me later because I don't know what I'm doing right now. And we ran some reruns. And then people said, "Okay, I want to talk to people. Can I come on?" I'm like, "Get on the phone. Let's do it." And now it's by Zoom. I'm doing the show in my living room. And we had a rerun last week. We had just as Tuesday, I reran the episode with Marty Croft of Sid and Marty Croft.
Oh wow, nice.
But people are calling, going, yeah, I got Zoom, I'll come on, and we do the same thing. We talk about people that made shows that made us feel good, and people are doing cool things. But I did usually have celebrities, but I did have on Otto Yang from UCLA, Dr. Yang, who was marvelous, and talked about like, well, here's what we're doing. I think we can get somewhere with this thing. That's
awesome. Yeah, I was, like I said, I was so excited when I read the email and all the things that you were working. I was like, this is awesome.
Have you gotten the Nellie newsletter? I have a newsletter we put on.
Oh, I get it.
Newsletter. You get the Nellie newsletter. Yeah, it's like 4 pages long. And then I'm here, and then I'm here, and now I'm home, and it's still 4 pages long.
And then you also you update everybody, not only on yourself, but all the old castmates, what they're up to as well.
Yes, I cross-promote, and so if Dean Butler or Melissa Gilbert or Karen Grass or any from the show is doing anything, a book is coming out, they have a movie, you will know about it in the Nellie newsletter. And it also includes the saga of Sock Monkey.
Yes.
The stream of consciousness story of a secret agent Sock Monkey, International Monkey of Mystery, sort of if, Jason Bourne, James Bond was a monkey. His adventures. So you get that free.
Does Sock Monkey appear with you as you're reading books to everybody?
He hasn't come to the reading. He has appeared at the show. At the end of the show, he's coming out because we say that Sock Monkey is actually directing.
So, speaking of the show is tomorrow night on Stage It. So, will you have the wheelchair there for that whole?
I do, because a while back. I had been renting chairs like in New York, but I had a gig, I guess it was at Palm Springs. I had some local gigs where I said, I can get the chair here. And I had one made in Las Vegas. I was driving down the street here in my neighborhood at Tahunga, and a little antique shop. And on the sidewalk it was like the chair. It was like the chair from the show. I was like, oh, like Screech, well, how much? And I was like loaded in the car. So I have this adorable wheelchair. And when we realized we were doing the show, we went, I guess we better go in the garage and get out the chair. So the chair, I like roll it into the kitchen. I got the thing and like roll out of the kitchen onto the stage of the living room. It's hilarious. It's so funny. Oh, speak of the, he's here.
It is.
Sock Monkey, indeed. This is, Secret Agent, wait, hello, there you are. There he is. Hi. Where am I? Oh, Secret Agent Sock Monkey, International Monkey of Mystery. So I got the wheelchair. I got a lovely backdrop. It looks like a brick wall. It's adorable. And I have lighting, and we just make it happen. And I think we're going to be doing more and more crazy stuff like this. And then to see Rich Little, to be able to say, I'm back. And he's like on the internet. It's just like,
That's so funny. So everybody, can they go now and like buy advance tickets for Stage It?
Yes, you can buy both. If you go to stageit.com and look for Rich Little Virtually Speaking on October 15th and Alison Arngrim Confessions of a Prairie Terror tomorrow, the 24th. I will have an October show and a December show too. So
that's what I wanted to ask too. It's a Prairie Terror now.
Yeah. Well, my stage show in New York at nightclub is like medium sort of R rated, but I'm blasting into everybody's living room. So we went with PG. And it's just Prairie Terror. And also it's only a half an hour long. I couldn't cram in every single thing from the show. Right. I'm excited that I got in Q&A in the wheelchair.
Well, that's a lot of fun. People are going to have a ball with that. I'm excited for you. I'm excited with everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And Cameo,
Coach the World, Stage It, Women's Inspire Network conference in Ireland, the Prairie readings, my store, if you go to bonnetheads.com or my Facebook page, you're directed to the store, which is on Square, where you can buy tin cups and bonnets. You name it, we got it.
That's awesome. Alison, always a pleasure. So happy to talk to you again. Glad to hear you're safe and you and the family are safe and doing good. And
you betcha. Stay well. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Be careful.
Absolutely. Take care. I'll catch up with you soon.
Yep. All right.
Bye.